Frank, watching the Oscars last night, I started to think the future of social TV has got to be really interesting. What do you envision?
Well, one of the things that started last night because of the Oscars by a new company, actually I've got this thing here called Umami, and what Umami is it's a social TV application that works on your iPad. It syncs to whatever you're watching. So it hears the sound, it syncs to that show. It'll show you, assuming you're in some kind of cable operation that allows itself to be synced up like Time Warner Cable is in New York, it'll show you the program you're watching on your iPad. You can hit a button, you can freeze a frame, and then you can immediately share it with all your friends. So when Angelina Jolie decided to stick her right leg out the 5th or 6th time, you could freeze frame it, and then you could send it out, and you could name it the hashtag Angelina Jolie's right leg or something. Point is that a conversation began to start about that. And if you took a look at social media last night, there were hundreds of thousands of conversations going on, or engagements, or tweets, or Facebook engagements about Angelina's leg. They even named a hashtag out of it. So the point is you could do it, and you could do it immediately. So social TV offers you an opportunity to have a second screen experience with whatever you're watching.
Well, the experience having a second screen is not something that's all that new, but throwing in video and visual certainly is going to change the way in which people absorb and receive the content.
Yeah.
How do you think that, as a gentleman with a few years of television experience, that's going to really elevate and escalate those dialogues?
I would say it will hugely elevate and escalate those dialogues for people who are really younger, people who are really into it, people who aren't your typical television viewers. I think there's two sides to social television. There's the really good side to social television, which is you want to get engaged and you want to share stuff and you want to talk about it while you're watching a show. And there's a really bad side to social television, and that is, leave me alone while I'm watching my show. So you know, where you stand, wherever you stand in that scale is where the importance of social television will be to you. I actually think that right now we're somewhere in the middle in terms of our society. I'd say more people are watching television that are probably in the 25 to 54 age group, or even older, whereas the 18 to 49 age group, or even 18 to 34, are probably more into being unplugged or having the cable off and experiencing their content through other devices, whether it be an iPad or mobile or something like that. So I think that what's starting to happen is, as the older generation of people who tend to want to watch television and be couch potatoes, and the newer generation of viewers and content consumers want to get it another way, as they start to come together, what will actually happen will be social TV. That's when we'll reach the actual zenith of it, I think.
Well, it makes me think of some of your comments at CES, where consumers who are tending to watch dramas probably don't want to interact in a social manner, while people who are in a large community event, like the Oscars from last night, were most certainly wanting to engage and have that dialogue. So as consumers start to age, the younger group gets older, do you think there'll be a larger adoption of social television practices?
Well, I think that's a good point. I think for live television events, like sporting events or big galas like the one that we had last night for the Oscars, or for the Thanksgiving Day Parade, or for the tree lighting at the Rockefeller Center, those are the kinds of things that will allow people to take their mind away from the content, go ahead and do something else, and then go back into it. However, and I do agree that dramas definitely need you to pay attention to them. But Showtime is doing something very interesting. For example, you could watch Dexter, and you could have a second screen experience with the Showtime application. And before a murder occurs, it will come up on the second screen application. It will ask you, do you think Dexter is going to kill such and such? Or, how many murders do you think Dexter will commit during this episode? It's a different kind of social engagement. Mm-hmm. It's not, oh, did you just see who Dexter murdered? It's now asking you what you think is about to happen. So it's creating a situation where you can actually become somewhat a part of the story.
Well, by triggering people's thoughtfulness, you're playing on that psychology of moving them from a passive consumer to an active consumer of that medium.
Which is what social television is really supposed to be about. It makes you an active consumer of content.
So, moving into South by Southwest in a few weeks, what do you think is going to be coming down the pipe?
You're going to hear about Connect TV. You're going to hear about ITV, which has existed for a long time. But all of these things are second screen social applications that utilize somewhat the Shazam sound ability for the application to know what you're actually watching. What I think will start to happen is that they will take what has just been social TV and a second screen application and start to do some of the things that we're talking about right now. And that is to actually allow you to become involved in it, involved in the story, to become an active rather than a passive viewer, and to make social television something that really truly becomes something that you can talk to and share with your friends.